A week after I died, my wife unblocked me from her blacklist. Ryan, what trick are you playing now? Mark only got caught in the rain that day and borrowed the bathroom. If you keep making a big deal out of it, I can't help it. He and I are just friends. Ryan has a stomach ache. Please remember to put less salt in the rice tonight. I stared at the phone vibrating loudly on the floor and sighed. She had no idea I was already dead. Lily sat quietly in the car, next to the person I least wanted to see, Mark, her childhood friend. Lily held her phone, staring at the chat window that had been silent for a long time. Finally, she frowned and typed, "Lily here. Do you mind if Mark and I are together too much? You can eat anything. He's unemployed and relies entirely on me to support him at home, and he's also a skilled driver." Looking at the two of them in the rearview mirror, the driver started to say something but couldn't help but sigh in the end. "Ms. Lily, Aunt Mary said Mr. Ryan hasn't been home for a week." Lily heard this, turned off her phone, and calmly said, "Then tell Aunt Mary to cook some millet porridge." I breathed a sigh of relief. A surge of bitterness, an indescribable feeling, welled up inside me. Lily had never liked me. Not even my death moved her. Her indifference was for the best. At least she wouldn't be heartbroken by my death. After all, I was already dead. I should make way for Mark. The villa was brightly lit. Lily had just entered, put down her bag, and froze. Slippers were neatly arranged on the floor, but there was an extra pair of men's slippers, Mark's slippers. Mark naturally walked over, put on those slippers, and took the bag from Lily's hand. Lily smiled and said, "Lily, you must be tired after working all day, right? Let's watch a movie, the one I told you about the other day, the movie from high school we never finished." Lily stared at my slippers for a moment, then nodded. Aunt Mary brought out the millet porridge and, seeing Mark, slammed the bowl heavily on the table. "Ms. Lily, it's not my place to say, but Mr. Ryan has been gone for days, and you're here with an outsider, not even asking about Mr. Ryan. Even Buddha would be disheartened by this. This is Mr. Ryan and your house. Outsiders come and go as they please. One would think he's the owner." Mark's face darkened, and he lowered his head, saying nothing. Lily's face remained unchanged. "Aunt Mary, it was Ryan who didn't care about me first. And Mark is not an outsider. Back then, if it wasn't for Ryan's father, how would Mark have been injured? Moreover, when I got lost as a child, it was Mark who saved me. He saved my life." Aunt Mary gaped, but couldn't say a word. Mark avoided eye contact, clenching his hands, sensing the heavy atmosphere. He reached out and gently patted Lily's shoulder. "Lily, it's okay. I don't blame Ryan. Aunt Mary is just worried about you." Hearing this, Lily became even angrier. Worried about me? If she was worried about me, she wouldn't constantly use Ryan to provoke me. "Aunt Mary, what kind of spell or potion did he give you that you always take his side?" I anxiously tugged at the corner of Lily's clothes, but my hand passed right through. Lily was always like this, clearly not thinking so in her heart, but the words that came out were always harsh. Aunt Mary looked at Lily with a strange gaze, as if she was meeting the girl she had cared for from childhood to adulthood for the first time. Finally, she sighed. "Ms. Lily, sometimes don't just listen to one side and be blinded. By the time you wake up, it will be too late. I'm going back to my hometown tomorrow. If Mr. Ryan comes back, please tell him thank you. And the hairpin on the table, it's a birthday gift he bought for you." I froze, turned my head to look upstairs, a hint of joy rising in my heart. Luckily, I wasn't wearing this hairpin when I was kidnapped, otherwise Lily's birthday gift this year wouldn't have been deliverable. It's just a pity that I won't have the chance to give her gifts anymore. "Ms. Lily, Mr. Ryan hasn't been in contact for a week, and Mark is sleeping in the living room." I followed Lily as she opened the door to my room. The room was clean and tidy, no different from the day I disappeared. A secret joy mixed with a touch of sadness welled up in my heart. Since marrying Lily, we had always slept separately. This was the first time she had entered my room. I wondered if the room's arrangement suited her, if I was someone she could love. Thinking of this, I became dejected again. I knew the person she loved was always Mark. Lily walked emotionlessly to the desk and opened the box containing the hairpin. The hairpin was a blooming lily of the valley, studded with diamonds, exuding elegance without being ostentatious. This was a gift I had painstakingly chosen, spending a large sum of money to win at auction. "Mark? Why are you here?" Mark, who should have been in the living room, suddenly appeared behind Lily. Lily was startled. "Mark, This is the birthday gift Ryan bought for you. What a coincidence. It's exactly the flower you like. He glanced at the box, hesitating slightly. Hairpins from this brand are very expensive. I understood his implication, but this was bought with my salary. I had never spent a penny of the Lilly family's money. Lilly glanced at Mark, then stuffed the hairpin into his hand. If you like it, I'll give it to you. I froze. So, the lily of the valley that Lilly liked was also the flower Mark liked. Or rather, because Mark liked lilies of the valley, Lilly liked them too. A sense of shame washed over me. Luckily, I was already dead. Apart from Lilly and Mark, no one else would know about this. Mark, this is Ryan's room. Without his permission, please don't come in. The smug smile on Mark's face, having received the hairpin, vanished. All right. I drifted to Lily's side, watching her text me. Ryan, I want you to give me the gift yourself. I threw away the hairpin. Don't be angry anymore. Don't disappear anymore. I'll give you 3 days. If you don't show up, let's get divorced. The chat window remained empty. Only a few green messages from Lilly on the chat log. All my messages interspersed with a few short green messages from Lilly. Lilly was always like this, always able to easily grasp my weakness. I could never do anything to her, but this time, I'm afraid I really couldn't show up anymore. Early the next morning, as soon as he woke up, Mark whined for Lilly to take him back to their old high school to relive their youthful memories. I, as usual, drifted listlessly beside Lilly. When she was young, she worked very hard, under great pressure. Even now, when the company wasn't busy, she still often suffered from insomnia. Last night was the same. Usually, I would give her a glass of hot milk before bed. Now I was gone, and Aunt Mary had returned to her hometown, no one to take care of Lilly. It was almost dawn before she finally fell asleep. I felt a pang of distress seeing her being woken up by Mark, but I could only circle around in place, unable to do anything else. Lilly opened her phone to check WeChat, then turned it off, turning to look at Mark standing by the bed. Her expression began to turn irritable. Who told you to wear this outfit? Take it off. Mark seemed stunned by the scolding. His face paled slightly, then he forced a smile. This was left in the living room, I thought. Looking closely, it was a white hoodie. It seemed to be the hoodie I wore when taking wedding photos with Lilly. I didn't know why it was in the living room. Seeing Mark's pale face, Lilly realized her mistake and awkwardly explained, "This is Ryan's clothes. Seeing it just makes me uncomfortable. Seeing it just makes me uncomfortable." That was Lily's comment on me. I smiled bitterly. Mark forced a gentle, harmless smile, lightly pulling at the white hoodie on his body, saying, "No wonder it's so big, so it's Ryan's clothes. Then I'll change." Lilly said nothing, staring at her phone. Mark, feeling inexplicably annoyed, went outside to change. I sighed helplessly, sitting beside Lilly. "Don't vent your anger on him, okay? Mark has been chased away by you. Aren't you satisfied? Even if I make way for you, you still can't catch up to Mark." After breakfast, the villa's doorbell rang continuously. I suddenly remembered that there seemed to be some incorrect data in the report I submitted last week. I had planned to put down the gift and then go to the company, but was kidnapped halfway. Lilly, no longer hesitant, looked out the door vigilantly and hurriedly ran to open it. As soon as the door opened, standing outside was Lucy. Lilly frowned again, the words she was about to say caught in her throat. Lucy stammered, Director Lilly. I'm looking for Director Ryan. The report from last week had some issues. Director Ryan said it needed to be revised, but I can't contact him. Director Ryan hasn't been to work for a week and hasn't asked for leave either." Lucy's face was pale and flustered. The door slammed shut in front of her face, the wind scattering the girl's hair. Lucy hurriedly took out her phone. The phone screen displayed a news headline. "Young man cycling in the countryside unexpectedly discovers corpse." I lowered my head, feeling both helpless and bitter. It had been a week since I died, and only now was I discovered. Lilly was right. I really had few friends, not worthy of Lilly. In high school, only my grades were commendable, but even those could be easily achieved by anyone willing to work hard. Outside the high school gate, Mark had Lily's camera around his neck, smiling as he stood beside her. The golden sunset shone on them, making them look radiant and vibrant. Lilly looked at Mark, and a warm smile also bloomed on her porcelain-white face. The light shone on Lilly, making her look like a fairy in the forest. This scene of a talented man and beautiful woman was deeply etched in my mind. My heart ached. The position beside Lily was ultimately not mine. I suddenly remembered the first time I met Lily, also under such sunlight. The exam was very difficult, and the girl beside me was studying intently. I no longer remembered what the exam was like that day, only the moment when the girl's hair was blown by the wind. Lily, thank you for coming back here with me. Since going abroad for treatment, I haven't returned to school. Mark said. Lily's smile stiffened. Then she took the camera from Mark's neck. It's good that you've returned. How are your legs and hands now? About what happened that year, I'm sorry. Mark rubbed his wrist, his tone relaxed and natural. It's okay, it's almost healed. Moreover, my path isn't limited to drawing. Lily said nothing more, staring at the basketball court. I followed her gaze. In high school, Lily often waited for Mark here after school. Every time I finished playing basketball and looked out at the court, I would always see her. I liked playing basketball because I could see Lily. That was one of the few moments I could see her. Hey, little girl, the person beside you has changed again today? An old man sitting outside the school gate called out to Lily. I recognized that old man. He was the one with dementia in the apartment building opposite the school, often sitting in front of the school gate waiting for his grandson to get out of school. I looked at Lily and Mark. Changed. Weren't they always leaving school together? Where's the young man from before? Haven't seen him lately. He was much better looking than this one. Little girl, are your eyes going bad? Lily frowned and stepped forward, looking at the old man. The person beside me has always been him. In the old man's confused eyes, Mark smiled even brighter. I stood under the tree, withdrawing my hand when I was about to touch Lily. The person beside me has always been him, always been him. The honor roll outside the school gate had yellowed year after year. My name had faded to the point of being almost invisible. I closed my eyes, loving you my whole life. Yet in front of me, you confess to another man. Even though I want you to be happy, I am still a coward. I thought my death was also worthwhile. When alive, I only annoyed Lily more. Dying now fulfilled her wish. Perhaps this could be considered a compensatory gift for her birthday this year. She didn't like the lily of the valley hairpin, so I would return her moonlight. Before my body was identified, Lily's mother arrived. She had always looked down on my family background. From high school until now, it was still the same. In her eyes, only Mark, who grew up with Lily, was worthy of being her son-in-law. Only he could be by her daughter's side for life. The harsh screech of car brakes rang out outside the school. Lily looked up. Her mother, with a haughty expression, stepped out of the car. Seeing Mark standing beside her daughter, she nodded slightly and smiled. Lily, I told you before, Ryan is not worthy of you. Mark is the best for you. Why do you only understand now? She glanced at the hairpin on Mark's collar, the smile on her face widening even more. She took Mark's hand. Lily gave you this, right? I know my daughter is thoughtful. You only mentioned your preference casually, and she could remember it until now. She has you in her heart. Lily looked at the hairpin, frowning, her tone not very friendly. When did you wear it? Mark, as if frightened by Lily, gaped and said, just now. I stood aside, watching Mark's changing expression, sighing. Standing beside Lily like this would only push Mark further away. Lily didn't like people like that. Sure enough, Lily's mother's face changed. Ryan, where did he get the money for this hairpin? This is not something he could afford. Her tone changed. I told you before, Ryan is not a good person. Marrying you must be for our family's money. All the money has been swindled away by him, and you still don't know. I watched Lily frown, wanting to smooth out the wrinkles for her, to tell her it wasn't like that. I had been in business for so many years, buying a hairpin was still within my means, but I couldn't touch her. In the end, I still let my hand fall. I was already dead anyway. Even Lily's mother didn't want to give me any face. In her eyes, even in death, I was still a despicable person, for the sake of the Lily family's money. Lily raised her head to look at her mother. So what if it's my money for him to spend? I froze. Mark was also stunned. This was the first time I heard Lily say she wanted to spend money on me. Before, I only heard, Ryan is unemployed, relying entirely on me to support him. Lily's mother's face turned cold, about to say something, but was interrupted by someone rushing down from the car. Enough, Mom. Brother-in-law is already dead. How long are you going to defend this outsider? What is Mark? Besides growing up with my sister, what has he done for her? I always thought my sister was just missing her old flame. Unexpectedly, she was so stupid that she was beyond redemption. 8 days. 8 days already, and you didn't notice brother-in-law was missing? Lily, to meet someone like you. Ryan was really unlucky for 8 lifetimes. Lily froze on the spot, looking at the person grabbing her collar, breathless. Lily's mother crossed her arms in front of her chest. All right, Daisy, is that how you talk to your sister? Ryan died. Then he died, just in time to make way for Mark. I think your sister is still more compatible with Mark. Daisy released her hand from Lily's collar. Lily grabbed Daisy's hand back, gripping it tightly, her voice slightly trembling. What did you say? Mark's face was ashen. Lily's mother froze beside her, seemingly not expecting her daughter's reaction to be so strong. Daisy sneered. What? Brother-in-law is dead, so you finally know how to feel pain? Did you hear clearly? Ryan is dead, dead for 8 days already. The police said they couldn't contact you, so they called us. Lily glanced at her phone, then suddenly turned to look at Mark behind her. This is not my personal phone. Mark finally took out the phone he had always kept in his pocket. The phone had been turned off for a long time. The waiting time for the phone to turn on had never been so long. The screen lit up, full of red missed calls and messages. Lily's hand clenched, then loosened, finally putting the phone down. It's okay, he's just missing, he'll come back. He's just sulking with me. Daisy took a deep breath. The next second, a crisp slap echoed in the air. Are you awake? If you are, then go to the police station. No one is claiming brother-in-law. Only you. I drifted listlessly beside Lily. Even though I was dead, thankfully she wasn't too heartbroken. She had many people by her side, unlike me, who only had her. At the police station, Lily stood in front of the police and reached out to take a small box. It was truly ridiculous. When alive, so big, but in death, burned into a small handful, stuffed into a tiny box. On the way to the station, Lily's face was somber. It wasn't until she saw this small urn in my portrait that she finally broke down. I was murdered and dumped in the wilderness. After 8 days, the body was a bit unsightly. She finally turned her body away and stuffed the urn into Daisy's hands. Her hands trembled slightly as she opened her mobile phone. The last message she sent to me was last night. I'll give you 3 days. If you still don't show up, let's get divorced. Then she sent another message. I won't rush you anymore, just come back. In my bag full of belongings, a notification sound rang. Lily put down her phone and picked up my phone. The police, seeing this, took advantage of the free time to tell her that when the deceased was kidnapped, he seemed to have tried to call out, but all were the same, no one answered. Lily's eyes suddenly reddened. She lunged forward and snatched the phone from the police's hand, opening it. There were a total of 3 missed calls. Each contact name was the same. Lily. Lily, her hands trembling, her knuckles white, clutched my phone, bowed her head, and said nothing. Her eyes were vacant, staring blankly at the 3 red missed calls on the phone screen. Then she turned around without a word and walked out. Mark wanted to chase after her. Lily opened her mouth, her voice cold, completely devoid of the gentleness from that morning. About the phone, I won't pursue it. In the future, don't let me see it again. I froze, looking at Mark's unpleasant expression, then looked at Lily who had walked far away. Doubts gradually arose in my heart. What was going on? Didn't Lily like Mark? Even on the day I died, wasn't it 8 days after my death? Weren't they still together? The sky gradually darkened. In the villa, no lights were turned on. Lily sat on the carpet in the living room. The coffee table was full of bottles and cans. She said nothing, just quietly sat there drinking, bottle after bottle. Even though I knew her alcohol tolerance was good, seeing so many empty bottles still shocked me. Ryan. She opened her mouth, facing the air, talking to herself. Ryan, you better hide well. Pray that in this lifetime I won't find you. Otherwise, I'll tell you, you're done for. I mean what I say. After saying this sentence, Lily started to cry, crying so hard she couldn't breathe. I wanted to comfort her, help her pat her back, but I was powerless. I was just a spirit. Perhaps tomorrow or the day after tomorrow I would vanish. After a while, she picked up a bottle of wine and went upstairs. Since getting married, she had always slept in the master bedroom, and I slept in the spare bedroom. Anyway, there were many rooms in the villa. Leaving them empty was also a waste. Although she didn't come home often, and I rarely entered her room, this was still one of the few times I could openly and legitimately enter my wife's room. The decoration was very ordinary, nothing special. She opened a cabinet door, taking out a box from inside. I sat on the bed watching her busy, as if between me and her, there was no existence of Mark, only me and her. The box opened. Inside was a stack of test papers, a set of school uniforms, and a deflated basketball, and some other miscellaneous items. I stared intently at the basketball, on which there was a place drawn with a blue pen in the shape of a moon. That was drawn by me at night, and later I couldn't erase it, and then the basketball deflated. I couldn't find it anymore. Why did it appear here? I unconsciously opened my mouth. Did Lily also like me a little? Lily sat in front of the box, flipping through the test papers, page by page. Every test paper had my name written on it. That was when I graduated from high school and sold them as waste paper to the old man who collected scraps. Sorry, Ryan, sorry, I came late. I stood there dumbfounded. Was she saying this to me? It's okay, Lily, it's okay. The phone rang. Lily, drunk, was startled awake by the noisy ringtone. Hello? Is this Miss Lily? We are the police from Green Valley District of Willow Creek City. Currently, we suspect your husband was murdered and want to ask you about some details related to the case, hoping for your cooperation. The other end of the phone was the police calling. I sat beside Lily, watching her hand tremble slightly, her face finally turning pale. The police roughly told Lily about my body's condition. Before death, I was hit in the head with a hammer. Unsurprisingly, my head must have been caved in. It was just that after completing the autopsy report, I was immediately cremated. Luckily, Lily didn't see me with a caved-in head. It must have been very unsightly. At the police station, Lily sat upright in front of the police, her expression unreadable, neither happy, angry, nor sad. It was as if the drunkard from last night had been buried by her. She said, "Officer, I hope you can quickly find the murderer so that my husband can rest in peace." I sat beside her, gently tugging at the corner of Lily's clothes. Since my father and Mark's car accident, Lily had never been so close to me. It was just unexpected that Lily, who hated me when I was alive, was now willing to investigate the truth for me after my death. Lily had changed, but also seemed unchanged, only she was no longer as close to Mark as before. I was worried and uneasy again. I was no longer here. If Mark was not by her side either, what would she do if she got sick? The police worked very efficiently, and before evening, they called to report that they had clues. Ms. Lily, your husband's death seems to be related to someone close to you. The person who killed your husband was once the owner of a small factory under the Jiang Group. After that, the factory went bankrupt, and this owner also disappeared. I stood there, not wanting to move forward anymore. Hearing this, what else didn't I understand? It was all done by Mark. Mark wanted revenge for the accident that year. Even my father's death was not enough to soothe his anger. It was just that if the culprit was Mark, I was afraid that Lily would withdraw the charges again. It was always like this, between me and Mark. I was not even considered an option. Sure enough, Lily lowered her head. I laughed self-deprecatingly. I had known the outcome already. Even though I always pretended not to care, I still felt uncomfortable. I looked outside the police station. It was still raining, just like the day I died, not knowing when it would stop. Lily doesn't need you anymore. Even if it's the Jiang family, they must hand over the person in front of me. A sound came from behind me. I turned my head. Lily raised her head, her eyes containing emotions that I couldn't understand. Even if it's Mark, he must be handed over. Oh right, Ms. Lily. The murderer said he wants to meet you, to apologize to you. I saw Lily nod and followed her. Today was the 9th day after my death. The murderer was finally caught. The scarred face, confined behind the glass, seeing Lily arrive, lazily sat there, sneering. Ms. Lily, how does it feel to have your husband die? Unexpectedly, you would react so strongly. Didn't you dislike him? Lily coldly looked at him, as if looking at a dead person. If you have anything to say it quickly. Don't provoke me. Don't be hasty. Let me tell you, Mark beside you is not a good person. His family still owes me $3 million. The scarred face became more and more frantic, clenching his hands. $3 million, $3 million. I did so much for him, cleaned up so many dirty messes. My wife and children are all dead. Why is Mark still alive? The murderer's emotions became increasingly agitated, and the police had to come in and inject him with a sedative. Not long after, he was taken away. I suddenly remembered that when I died, the scarred face said he would wash his hands of this after finishing this job. Lily said nothing. The police came to escort her out. I turned my head again to look at the scarred face. Evil reaps evil. It was just that his wife and children were innocent. Even Mark, who harmed his whole family, was not a good person. Outside, Mark was waiting in the car at the gate. Seeing Lily, his eyes lit up. Lily. Lily stopped. I didn't know what she was thinking, but clearly her actions were inconsistent with what she said yesterday. Lily opened the car door and sat in. I also followed her into the car. Lily, did he say anything? That kind of psychopath, when cornered, will say anything. Mark hurriedly explained to Lily. I completely tuned out of the car. Lily's answer was surely something I didn't want to hear anymore, only to get more annoyed. Lily said, nothing, then went home with Mark. Let him have her. Then, anyway, I was already dead. Mark poured Lily a cup of coffee. Try this new coffee bean I bought today. My heart tightened. Lily never drank coffee. She was allergic to coffee. The only time she drank coffee was when she was kidnapped and forced to drink it because they thought she was not conscious. The next second, Lily, who never drank coffee, took a sip. I lowered my head. Sure enough, treating different people differently. Mark, did you kill Ryan? A cold voice rang out. I dared not believe my ears, looking at Lily. Playing the coffee cup in Mark's hand fell to the ground, shattering. He laughed awkwardly. What? What's possible? Lily, don't joke around. Did that murderer say something? Lily put the coffee cup on the table. The cup and the table collided, making a crisp sound. Mark, don't pretend anymore. My father's death was also caused by you, wasn't it? I froze on the spot, daring not to believe my eyes. That year, wasn't it my father's traffic accident that injured Mark's hands and legs, making him unable to hold a paintbrush anymore? Mark bent down to pick up the broken pieces on the ground, his hands trembling slightly, forcing a smile. Lily, what are you talking about? That year, wasn't it Ryan's father's car accident that injured me? Enough, Mark. Lily took out a stack of photos from her bag and threw them on the coffee table. These are the evidence, from you bribing the car repair shop owner to tamper with my car brakes, to you then informing Lee to kidnap Ryan. All the photographic evidence is here. Continued denial is also meaningless. I stood there stunned. Mark still wanted to resist. The next second, Lily overturned all the coffee onto the carpet. And another thing, Mark, the red beret behind you and this cup of coffee. From childhood to adulthood, I only saw it once. That year when I was kidnapped, the kidnapper wearing a red beret forced me to drink a cup of coffee that tastes exactly like this cup of coffee. Mark, you really deserve to die. Mark suddenly laughed loudly. Huh? Then what about you? Aren't you also always by my side? Ryan is already dead. He's already dead. What else can you do? Lily stared at Mark. Only now did I realize that Lily's state was not right. She was like a mad woman, her eyes bloodshot, her lips bitten until they bled. She took out a syringe from her bag, step by step approaching Mark. I had never seen Lily like this before. I wanted to hug her, comfort her, tell her I was okay. Already dead, it was over. Mark was frightened by Lily, constantly retreating backwards. Lily, let me tell you, I am the only son of the Jiang family. If something happens to me, others will definitely know. Mark, you overestimate yourself. Tell me, if I say you are with me, what will others think? They will definitely, just like before, bless us. I suddenly understood what she wanted to do, desperately rushing forward to stop her. No, Lily, you can't do this. Illegal detention is against the law. It's illegal, but I could do nothing. Lily, crying, tightly grabbed Mark's hand. When the needle pierced in, everything ended. I didn't know my death would affect Lily so much, nor did I know that Lily had also secretly loved me for so many years. On the basketball court in high school, the person she looked at was always me. After school, she would also always follow behind me. If only I had turned my head around sooner, had noticed, I had always been blinded, deceived. Until I died, everything became clear. My father died in a car accident, my wife didn't love me, the basketball disappeared, the gift was given to someone else, the clothes were left in the living room. All had clues, but it was too late. I was already dead. In the dark, damp basement, Mark was locked up here. The police had investigated the truth of the events years ago. Thanks to the evidence Lily provided, the police not only clarified the case of my death, but also overturned unsolved cases from many years ago, re-indicting the Jiang family. The Jiang family finally collapsed. The rotten tree of many years was finally uprooted. Tax evasion, murder, even corruption, all were exposed. All were arrested and imprisoned. Lily's mother no longer said Mark was a match for Lily. Lily also didn't go to the company anymore, starting to clean up the villa, sorting out my belongings. The police couldn't find Mark. Of course, they couldn't find him, because Mark had been disguised as a plane crash victim, currently in the basement of my house. Lily told the outside world that she was going on an early honeymoon with Mark. When taking a private plane, they encountered an accident. Mark was missing. Lily luckily survived. Only a plane was burned to ashes. Mark's tendons in his hands and feet were severed. In the basement, he lay on the old, tattered bed. Because of the year-round dampness in the basement, many rodents were born, attracted by the smell of blood on Mark's body, swarming around him. The prolonged darkness finally drove him insane, as if abandoned in hell. The basement door opened. Lily stepped in. Mark trembled, cowering in the corner of the wall, only repeating one sentence. "It wasn't me. It wasn't me." Lily said nothing, only glanced at Mark, then went upstairs. Upstairs, she placed my urn and my photo. Lily sat in front of me for a while, placing a piece of chocolate, my favorite food. "Sorry, Ryan, sorry. At that time I really thought you harmed Mark. I just wanted to do something for you. I didn't want to always follow behind you." I sighed, reaching out to stroke her hair, hugging her in my arms. "Silly girl, is being good to Mark also to atone for me?" She also hugged me, sobbing. It was truly strange. After death, I realized that Lily actually knew what I liked and disliked. When I was alive, every day I wondered if Lily liked me even a little. After death, I no longer cared about those things. I was already dead, and Lily was really dying. Perhaps Mark wasn't miserable enough, or perhaps Lily felt guilty. She started to harm herself. Insomnia became increasingly serious. I was by her side, watching her stare blankly at the hoodie I wore on our wedding day. I watched her like that from day to night. Daisy came. Another slap. Without hesitation, a crisp slap. I could hear it and wince. "Lily, are you awake yet? If brother-in-law saw you like this, he definitely wouldn't rest in peace in death." I laughed. Daisy was right. Perhaps it was precisely because Lily didn't know how to take care of herself that I was trapped beside her, unable to leave. Finally, she moved. She stared blankly at Daisy, then started to cry, crying until dawn. She went to the police station to confess. Mark was found in the basement, unrecognizably deformed, his wounds gnawed by rats. Even the best doctors couldn't save him. Mark died. Lily was arrested for intentional injury, sentenced to 5 years. 5 years later, Lily was released from prison early for good behavior. Lily's mother and Daisy came to pick her up at the prison gate. Daisy had replaced Lily's position in the company. Lily's mother's temples were already streaked with white. Lily said, "I'm back." I drifted behind her. Daisy looked at the thin Lily and couldn't help but cry. "Oh, I'm really a coward, being bullied by Lily like this, yet still missing her." Lily didn't return to the company, nor did she return to the old house, only returning to our house, carrying my urn, wearing my white hoodie, and wearing the Lily of the Valley hairpin, starting to travel around the world. I followed the urn, accompanying her. She looked at the Lily of the Valley hairpin, talking to herself. "Ryan, I didn't lie to you. I really like lilies of the valley. I can't catch up to you. You're always faster than me, always ahead of me. This white hoodie of yours is not bad at all. It's just that you didn't want to live with me. Clothes left in your room have no scent of you. Sorry, Ryan. I just wanted you to look at me more. Sorry, Ryan. I should have looked at you more. I should have tried harder. If only I had discovered that bastard Mark sooner, then it would have been good." The riverside wind carried a salty scent. I wanted to cry, but I couldn't let Lily see. Otherwise she would laugh at me for being a crybaby. "It's okay, Lily. I don't blame you. I still love you. This is the 7th year after I died. I should go now."